Jimmy Connor, the dust clogged radiator. Even communication is getting to be impossible, with dust clogging the radios. With another 2 hours of dust ahead, the pit crew's decision is to replace the radiator and change both the air and the oil filters. Connor seems to be running well ahead of Johncock and Alsop, who are still somewhere back in the silt. And here goes Connor back into the race. Racing from dawn to dusk becomes a ballet of the desert. I'm up at Beatty now. This is checkpoint number 2, 150 miles into the race. Jimmy Connor, 713, is just leaving with co-driver Pat Blackmore at the wheel. There are 5 checkpoints in the race. The last one, 350 long miles away, is at Weeks. That's where the official times will be taken. Here comes Gordon Johncock and Bill Alsop. At every checkpoint, each driver is given a beam, and he must have all 5 of them at the finish or be disqualified. Earlier today, I asked Gordon Johncock how he happened to be in the middle of this Nevada desert.
Well, the reason I got into this off-road racing, we had our Champ Car meeting, our annual meeting every year in Las Vegas, and Bill Alsop and I got kidding around about it last year when we was out here for our meeting, and then Bill got a hold of Connor. And I told Bill, I says, well, if you want to do it, it's up to you. If you could get a truck or whatever, I said, we'll give it a try. And that's the way it went.
Let's leave 2-time Indy winner Gordon Johncock and veteran Bill Alsop, who have only 150 miles of off-road racing experience between them, and join Jimmy Connor, who has logged tens of thousands of dust-filled miles. Here's how he feels about the solitude of desert driving.
You know, when we leave on a race, especially out of Las Vegas, you leave all the lights and all the people and everything is so modern and understandable, and you take off and you leave and you're heading for parts unknown, so to speak. Suddenly, about 3 or 4 hours out, it gets real scary. All of a sudden, there's nothing there anymore. I mean, there's no people, there's no houses, there's no factories, there's no streets. It's just the desert, and the desert gets real scary.
Not only has Jimmy Connor raced a lot, he's won a lot.
You know, the difference between a winner and a loser in off-road racing, I think, has an awful lot to do with luck. Because of the fact that you've got to beat the elements, you've got to beat an awful lot of things that are along the way in, say, a 500-mile race. Not only the car breaking down, but the driver getting tired, fatigue factor, the terrain. The fella, I think, that really uses his head and attaches his brain to his right foot is probably the winner.
Another big difference between oval track racing and off-road racing is that when you break down in the desert, you're on your own. You just don't walk back across the infield and go home. For his victory at Indianapolis, Gordon Johncock picked up a check for $290,000, which won't buy his way out of this. Unless Johncock and Alsop dig a little faster, I'm afraid they'll spend the night right here. This is Goldfield, checkpoint number 3, halfway to the finish.
The report we've got is that the first bike is just crossed Lights Junction about 5-10 minutes ago. Should be here in about 10 or 15 minutes.
Your chances of going all the way are better when you have a good crew chief like Connor has in John Ray. John, what's the story on your guys?
We're running about 35 minutes off the first place. Right now I'm borrowing fuel from one of Walker Evans' pits. The silt was so heavy down there, it's packing air filters. And we're using about twice the normal fuel consumption. So that's what I'm doing now, is transferring some fuel out of their dump cans into our barrel, and I'll catch them farther down the course, fill them again. The two-wheel car's doing real good. We've lost radio communications temporarily, at least, with the four-wheel drive that John Cochran also sends me. But to the best of my knowledge, the two-wheel drive's in second place, and Gordy and Bill's in third with the four-wheel drive. And I think our red stock capsule is in fourth.
Half of the course includes 6,000-foot mountain passes, salt flats, and more dry lakes. The open spaces make it possible to hit speeds of over 100 miles an hour. This is where everyone, including Jimmy Connor, can make up for time lost early in the race. The strategy here is simple: go flat out. It's impossible for any driver to know exactly where he stands anywhere in the race. Being first across the finish line doesn't always guarantee a victory. Elapsed time is used to pick the winner in each class.